It recognizes our belief in God, our country, not just individuals, our country, our founding fathers codified this in the documents that founded this country. Our reliance, our belief in God, and our reliance upon God. Of that, there's just no debate on that. You may like it, may not like it. Declaration of Independence, we find these truths to be self-evident, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, of which are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It goes on in the Constitution to say we are putting together this Constitution in a preamble to secure the blessings, not only for ourselves, for posterity. And that Constitution followed with a Bill of Rights that enumerated those godly rights given to man, including the very first one, which was a right to believe in God and to express that belief anytime, anywhere, including the public square.
33 million. It's proven to the money investors that people want something to feed their souls, not just their worst desires.
Absolutely.
And
yes, indeed.
This kind of sums up my entire dialogue career on the heat of the night. You ready for this? Okay, this is it. My 7 years on the heat of the night. My dialogue all summarized into this. Get right on it, Chief.
Skinner, but Bubba's my name. I like my iced tea sweet and my women the same. I'm your brown-haired badge here in little old Sparta, but nobody's bigger or tougher or smarter. If you're looking to fight, best not be with me. Gonna be held tight, well now we'll just see. You never know in the heat of the night on TNT. Heat of the night on TNT. Now I don't put on any airs, but then I ain't no slob. Just a redneck boy with a blue-collar job. The ladies I date, they gonna have some fun, cause I'm a big hunk of crime fighting son of a gun. So if you're looking to fight, come on up in the ring. You wanna be held tight, just about anything. And it happen in the heat of the night on TNT. Hubba, bubba, hubba, bubba, heat of the night on TNT. Yeah.
Best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
And welcome to Alan Autry No Retreat. It's Big Wednesday with Guillermo Triple G Marino here. August 10th. Lost today. That happens when you get my age.
Hey, well, I'm happy to be here. Are you triggered again? Because I saw you have so many notes. Like I don't have anything.
I have notes.
I got a conference call going on here still.
You're what, 17 years old? 30-year millennial. I used to say I was pushing 70. Now I'm dragging it. So I got to have notes. The little ring, the little string around the finger doesn't work.
No one does that anymore.
Did you ever see It's a Wonderful Life?
Yeah,
Banker guy
time ago.
put the string around his finger, lost all the money.
Yeah,
George Bailey lost his mind.
It's been a while.
Well, you asked me if I'm still. Let me tell you, we had a rather passionate show yesterday. I mentioned it takes a lot to trigger and kick me off. I'm a pretty understanding. I try to live by the Stoic creed that you have no control on things that happen outside of you, but you have control of things inside you.
Yeah, amen.
How you respond to them, correct? Try to live that life. There's a Christian philosophy as well. I mean, it's Jesus lived by it.
So I ain't Jesus. I try to be. Supposed to be a role model, right?
You're a little,
You're a man of faith.
You're a little John McEnroe yesterday.
Are you kidding me? You got to be kidding.
Yep.
No, I've had time to sleep on it. A lot of viewers, y'all watch the show, listen to the show, and have shared it apparently with a lot of folks, getting a lot of feedback on it. And I've had time to think about it since I left the studio at 2:00 yesterday. And I've had time to calm down. I've had time to let this thing process. The word process, what's happened to the president and the ramifications it's going to have or has had on this country and future generations.
Yeah.
Went to sleep on it. Got up. Took a nice big stretch. And I am still pissed off. It hasn't subsided. In fact, it's increased a little bit. Now, I have, as I said, processed it a little bit better. But I hear people talking about, it was on Mayor Giuliani's show. They had a show right after ours, the mayor's back-to-back.
Yeah, Mayor back-to-back. That's...
And I forget the lady's name, but she's a good friend of Giuliani's in the political world.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently within that bubble has a name that people respect as being tough. And she was talking about how shocked and how over the line this is. Agree, as most Americans, not Republican or Democrat. If you just love America and you believe in the freedoms, individual freedoms that this country provides and guarantees, August 8th was a bad day for this country. But she said something, she recited the negative, horrific aspects of this, did it very articulately. And at the end, she says, yes, I'm very concerned, Mayor, and I'm scared. And I thought about that. And I'm listening to it on the radio. And I get it. Yeah, they're coming at you. It's not paranoia if they're really after you. This woke left thing is out of control. Never have we seen the politicization and weaponization of individual departments like the FBI, the DOJ, the IRS. This all started with Obama, Lois Lerner, who was the head of the nonprofits there in the IRS, targeting conservative groups, whether they were going to get audited.
Yeah.
More, and they did. But my suggestion is, and this is where I'm going to go, I'm not going to get scared. I'm going to get mad. There's such a thing in the Bible called righteous anger. Unrighteous anger is when you get mad because my Yankees blow it in the 7th inning and don't make it to the World Series. Or I don't get that part that I was right for. Gosh, I was right for that part. I was just born to play this part, and I don't even get a call back. I don't get mad over that anymore because in the whole landscape of concerns, that's not even first world problems. That's just not a problem in the whole scheme of things that we're facing. On the precipice of, a nuclear war, you have all of these dictatorships arising over in Africa, China flexing its muscles everywhere. And the last beacon of democracy, Guillermo, decides that, we've had enough of this Bill of Rights thing. That we've had pretty nuts of this life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness cannot be infringed upon. We've had enough of this. Oh gosh, this thing, due process, for individuals. Enough of this innocent till proven guilty nonsense. At any whim we have, we're going to burst down the door of an American citizen who happens to be the 45th president of the United States for a totally political reason, using the FBI and CIA to do it. There's a thing called righteous anger, where something that big is unleashed upon a freedom-loving people and a God-loving people. You don't get scared and retreat.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we nicknamed this show No Retreat, because if ever there was a time not to retreat, it's now. Here, a couple of days later, if you turn on CNN, I tell you, bless their hearts. I'm listening to them, and it is like, literally, it's like they're evoking President Roosevelt. August 8th will live in infamy.
So true.
Have you heard these things,
Oh my
Guillermo?
God. You're gonna remember. They didn't say this, but you're gonna remember where you were.
Yes,
at
they
when-
did say it.
No way.
Yes, they did.
Oh my God.
It was on the Scarborough show. They said those things. You will remember right where you were. You know, when if you're old enough to remember Pearl Harbor, when John F. Kennedy
Oh my
was shot.
gosh. Oh.
You know, you're going to remember when Elvis died. And you'll remember where you were August 8th when they burst down the door of the 45th President of the United States home for no reason.
I don't even remember what I ate yesterday, to be honest with you, or on August 8th. Was that Monday? Yeah, that was Monday. My mom's birthday.
Well,
yeah.
I'm going to remember August 9th and August 10th because it truly will live in infamy because the people who perpetrated this violation of Americans, of the rights of an American citizen who represents all of us. When you have your door bumps, I don't care if you love Trump, hate Trump, Republican, Democrat, Independent, pedestrian. Is that a party, a pedestrian party? Those who walk? New York it is. Anyway, it will live in infamy because it was the beginning of a frontal, unabashed, out in the open, in your face that your personal rights don't matter
I agree with
anymore.
that. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a
It's
big.
not even hiding it anymore, Guillermo.
Yeah, it's a big event. I think people are blowing it out of proportion, but I think you're right in the sense that this is a new phase in the Trump hatred, how far the left is going to go. And I mean, the left we know is going to go far, and they're going to go further than this. But at the very elementary level, I want the people on the left, because we have a lot of independents that listen to us, a lot of liberals that listen to us, even though they don't want to admit it. I want to talk to them, and conservatives too, obviously. But at the end of the day, I want everything to be equal, right? Heaven forbid
In particular, the application of the law.
Yeah, equal, right? I go into a restaurant. I mean, my name is Guillermo. I mean, I'm brown. I mean, you can tell. I mean, I'm not wearing, this is me.
A lovely burnished brown.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
good
that.
looking
It's
dude.
more
man.
reddish, I think.
You
than
are a
olive.
good looking dude. But go
Well,
ahead.
you
we get
are too.
sidetracked.
We're not here talking. And
Before they start talking around town. Hey, you listen to Autry, you hit on Guillermo right on the airways in front of everybody. I knew Hollywood had its effect on him.
oh my
Go
gosh.
ahead. No, but go ahead with your story.
But I want to walk into a restaurant, and I don't want to. I want to be treated equally, right? The American people. This is the greatness of this country. We want to be treated equally. Now, when you look at what happened to President Trump, and we've talked about it, everyone's talked about it. Conservatives have talked about this is an unequal application. Why didn't you do it to Hillary? Why haven't you done it to the Bidens? I respect that frame of thinking, but I want everyone to really just, especially if you agree with what happened to Trump, you got to admit that this is not equal application of the law. It really isn't. And you got to think about that, because at the very basis of our country, we all want to be treated with respect. Your enemies should be treated with due process and respect, because at the end of the day, just allow the truth to come out. If Donald Trump did something bad, I want to know. A lot of people think that, you're on the radio, you're
Absolutely.
one of those far right conservatives. He could go out and kill someone on Fifth Avenue and you're going to be okay with it. No, I'm not. If he broke the law, then Alan, and here's the other aspect I don't think we've talked about. What if they do find something in those 15 boxes?
Well, right now, but the whole thing is the way they did it. There's going to be the absolute initial. They find something, smoking guns, something for January 6th.
Yeah.
Because make no mistake.
Yeah.
Folks, this was not about 15 boxes from the National Archives. This was not about the President Records Act violation.
They're going through Melania's
They want to go
wardrobe.
in there and hope they can find something that ties him to January 6th. And the way they're going about it, they don't go through the subpoena process. They use this magistrate judge, this Reinhardt guy, who gave money to the Democratic Party, and who, by the way, went to work on Jeffrey Epstein's team, which I tell you, this is the dude that gave the FBI and the DOJ the permission to go invade the 45th President of the United States home. Even if they find something now, there's going to be people going, that was planted.
Oh, for sure.
That was planted.
Exactly. So if they were to, they've lost all credibility.
The whole credibility, and Guillermo here, and I really do. And I want to tell you this, and you were like, I know where you stand. This. You do not agree with this at all. And I'm not saying that you do when I say this. I get where you're saying giving them the benefit of the doubt. But certain acts against Americans in the form of the unbelievable power that the federal government has to destroy your freaking life, reputation,
family,
and business. When you egregiously abuse that power and overreach and do something like this on anyone with this flimsy evidence, I just saw on the CNN feed. I promise you, folks, Guillermo's got CNN and Fox going. And the CNN feed says that the FBI went in because they had suspicions that the president was withholding records. They're just suspicions. Okay? When you take a little suspicion, you're supposed to convince a judge before you do what they did. The law says you got to convince convincingly that that there's something really, really important, really, really evident that elevates to something of a crime. And you have to present evidence to that judge that you feel with a high degree of certainty that information is in that residence. Okay? So if it's number one, if it's a presidential records act, that does not, rise to the level that he's got a letter in there and saying, hey, Kim Jong-un, let's partner up and rule the world.
Exactly.
And he gets saying back, okay. Or Vladimir, way to go. Okay, you're going to go into Ukraine when?
Yeah.
Okay.
I approve.
You have my blessing.
Yeah.
Or anything even close to that. Certain abuses of government power do not warrant a 3 strikes you're out. It does not warrant the benefit of the doubt. It doesn't warrant, on the other hand, it doesn't warrant, let's wait and see. This is an act that doesn't warrant any of those. Because we know, right, and I think right now, the fact that they've remained silent speaks volumes.
And I was in that, and I wanted to bring that point up.
Where's Christopher Wray? Where's Merrick Garland? You do something like this, and you go hide in a bunker like Biden. We're in day 2, and if you'll notice, and I'm going to let you go on this, you go after it, because I want to know. I looked at my feed here. I purposely have an NBC News feed. Pretty liberal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If they had something on Trump, if this something was real, there would be the lead story is Trump refuses to answer questions to New York State Attorney General. Not one article on the follow-up on this break-in of his home with the FBI. Now, you don't tell me, all right, I know it's an overused phrase, but you see that duck walking? You see that thing? It looks like a duck walking. It looks like a duck quacking. Probably a duck. What say you?
If this establishment, if the DOJ, if the legacy media, if the January 6th committee, if they had something that the reasonable average American could see it and say, you know what? Yeah, the dude messed up. If they had the smoking gun, you know what? Not even a smoking gun. If they just had a gun.
How long? Exactly. How long do you think it took to go through those 15 boxes? They were like opening them up on Christmas presents. Like my little grandkid. We had videos of at the house last night. We were watching him opening up his presents. He's like, yeah, oh, this, oh, great, thanks, Papa. We're opening up. They were on that like starving dogs in a meat house. Opened them all up, probably half hour?
Every document.
Going through them. 2 days later, we hear nothing.
Alan, every document has probably touched at least a dozen hands, looked over, backwards, forwards, scanned. I mean, these documents aren't just still sitting in those bankers' boxes. The fact that no one has come out and said anything is a big, oh, crap. We got to figure. I mean, they're in damage control. They're in crisis mode now because
they hit a hornet's nest. Yeah, they hit a hornet's nest, and at least, and I'm with you. They provide a smoking gun. They found smoking in his safe. Okay, but what they're going to do is they're going to find some kind of document. They're going to try to magnify it into something that it's not. Is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I mean, Trump may be a lot of things. He may be, people think he's crazy. He might be. He ran for president, didn't he?
And he wants
everybody
wants to do it again.
Got to be a little insane. Let's face it. If you run for mayor, you've got one wheel in the sand. Let's face it. You're not thinking right. You run for governor, you're running a court low on that car. You're right. You run for president, you're freaking out like,
You're 5150.
You need Dr. Phil, a little meeting on your calendar every week with Dr. Phil. But he is not dumb. He knows how people play. Dirty.
Yeah.
You got to realize he grew up from Queens in New York. That would be like the other side of the tracks. Even though he said, and when he says, my dad gave me $1 million, and that's all to start up. Average American going, gosh, okay. And you're saying like that's not anything. But back in his world, that was nothing.
Yeah.
The trust fund babies are over there in Manhattan and doing all the thing. He was from Queens. And he played dirty New York ball, man. It was not hardball. It was, and he knows somebody was always out trying to get him. So you can bet your bottom dollar his accountants dotted every I. They're going to bring this stuff forward and try to spin something. But who's going to keep really valid incriminating evidence in their home and then in a safe? Because you go in going, well, where could it be? There's a safe.
Check the safe.
Let's get the safe. Hey, Marv, where do they put valuable things in homes like this? Why don't you try the safe?
The brand new safe.
It's like that guy.
Plaster is just set. I mean, the guy.
It's like the Geico commercial. Have you seen it? When they do a takeoff on the horror movies, the kids are running for the thing. And they're going, where do we go? Where do we go? How about that the car running? What, are you crazy? Let's go hide in the barn with the chainsaws. And of course, he's not going to put it in a safe if he had it.
Alan, people don't think about think about this logically. 15 boxes, they go in there. I mean, if the president were this evil and this conniving and these were national security documents, you're telling me they've been sitting in the exact same spot in the exact same desk right there out in the open for everyone to see. 15 pages worth. No, Guillermo, he hasn't filed away. Do you think Donald Trump, when he left the White House, was putting together bankers boxes from Office Depot and putting together when was the last, and I said this yesterday, when was the last time this man packed for a trip?
Yeah.
Never.
Okay.
And he
doesn't put his Aqua Velva in there himself in there?
No, it's VO5.
And by the way, you can't take conditioner on an airplane on a carry-on.
Didn't
When I
know
went
that.
back to Oklahoma City this last week, I don't know what. No.
What'd you try to get, like a
my
60
favorite conditioner.
A 64 ounce?
No, it was just like this.
That's pretty big,
funny
Alan.
you mentioned that. What difference? What are you going to do? Burst into the pilot's cabin and scream conditioner? I'm taking over the plane. Get over there. What can conditioner do?
Well,
We're tangenting now because I don't want to get off this subject.
Remember, 311. All right, 3 ounces. One. I don't know what the other.
Why?
Because I don't know. Above 3. It's
3 ounces conditioner.
It's science,
It's
Alan.
not, but
follow the science.
Over 3.5 ounces of conditioner is a hijack threat or a
It could
bomb.
be. Follow the science, Alan. Follow the science.
All right. Anyway, we didn't take any breaks yesterday. God, this world. I tell you. But it's time for me to go, I think. I'm not going to pack. I'm not going to take a U-Haul up to heaven.
Hey, you can't take it with you.
Yeah,
There's a play called You Can't
I
Take
think
It
you've
With
all
You.
heard this, but it's a great thing to remember. He says, about things that are important in life, things. And you've heard it, but I think it isn't one that really stuck. He said, well, have you ever seen somebody, a funeral procession with a U-Haul trailer? No.
You never have.
You
Yeah, no.
never have.
Yeah, no.
I might do that.
You
just
should.
to mess with people.
You should.
Have them haul in a U-Haul. Better than one of those hearses, man. They freak me out.
Did you hear about the guy?
They need to change that. Get rid of
they
that
are eerie.
tradition.
Yeah, they are.
Remember the whole thing? If you see 2 funeral processions in one day, your time's up.
I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah, that's an old tradition. I saw one the other day. I'm going, oh God, I'm going home like this.
I don't want to.
I got this. There.
That'll get
I'm
you
driving home.
That'll get you there real quick, Alan. That'll get you there real quick.
Jeremy, you've heard that, right? No,
Never.
Gosh,
Never.
You millennials and generals, you missed out on all the good superstitions
We did. Did you hear about the guy
that
that
would scare you.
There's some pretty scary stuff going
What's
on.
good of a superstition if it doesn't scare you?
That's true. No, that's true. Did you hear about the guy that? And this was a long time ago.
We're
I think
so
in
far off the
Massachusetts. We are.
subject of the rights of Americans being trampled on. We're talking about conditioner and
funerals.
funerals. Go ahead.
Let me finish here. It's good. It's good. This guy didn't want all this money to be spent on his funeral without him knowing what was going to happen. So he invited the town and he had a funeral for himself and he walked behind the casket and everything. and he was just quiet because he wanted to see it.
Behind.
He wanted to see it.
That's brilliant.
Why? You know what? Why don't you want to see what people say? Aren't you concerned about what I'm going to say?
No, I would want to. No, I don't want to be there, but I want to be hiding in the back seat of the car when they go home, because that's when they'll tell the truth.
So true.
You know, the wife will be there going, "Oh, John, that was some great words you said about Alan. He was a lying, worthless
True story.
SOB.
I got a true story.
So, that's where I want to be.
True story. I was at a funeral, and this must have been about 7 or 8 years ago. And one of the guys, you know how they allow anyone to come up, which is bad. You know, if your funeral
So you're trying to talk me out of my rage here. It's not going to work, but go ahead. I'm going to be back on this story when we come back from break, but go ahead.
So I'm at this funeral. They allow people to go up,
man.
And this one guy goes up, and he starts talking, and then there's this elderly people in front of me, elderly couple.
Watch it.
And
you're with a 70-year-old dude. Go ahead.
And so we're at one of the small, you know, it's one of the Whitehurst.
True story?
True story.
Okay.
One of the Whitehurst chapel. You know how small they are.
Yeah.
And the guy goes up there. He's talking about, you know, about the female and how blah, blah, blah. And there's an elderly couple in front of me. And the lady can't hear very well. So she turns to her husband and said, "Oh, she hated him." and everybody heard it. And the guy stopped. And he kept talking, but I was.
You were there.
I was dying.
You witnessed this.
I was sitting right behind her.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's Seinfeld-esque.
Oh man, I didn't get up at all. I didn't want to know what the decedent thought about me. Really, I was just sitting there.
Oh man. Oh gosh. Okay, we got to laugh through the tears. Laura Sue, hang on. We're going to get to you and take a break, and then we're gonna go to the callers. We didn't get to them yesterday. I was too triggered. Still am. I just better get used to this state. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I thought I was past this, but I guess not. All right. We'll be right back. It's Alan Autry, No Retreat.
Yeah, I did it too.
You twist the lower body.
Oh, not the top?
Well, you can, but you want to, you got to twist the whole thing is to get that lower thing.
So it's the bottom.
The bottom twist.
I can't do it. Just twist the bottom.
Gosh,
the top.
folks, I'm sorry to stay on this, but this is just. And I need to tell. Yeah, I am going to tell that. I'm going to make a note here, so I'll make sure I forget. The story of why you need to be concerned about this 87,000 IRS agents. I heard a guy on there from the administration trying to comfort the average middle class American that these 87,000 won't be coming after you. We're just going after the fat cats. And by the way, our definition of fat cat might differ from yours. You make over $100,000, you're a fat cat. Used to be true.
San Francisco, you're poor.
Oh.
Yeah, San Francisco, you're.
Did they really? We come back, Jeremy. Do you got what kind of fool? I haven't heard that in a while. Is that at your fingertips? I don't want to ask you that. I say we should get those numbered. You know, like what's Kirk does? Cut number one.
Yeah.
Can we library?
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Then we can just put a list there. You'd like that?
That big old cart wall right there. We can put numbers on them.
How many will it hold?
Well, that you can probably get a good 75.
Oh, that's all we need.
And then you just go to the next page.
Oh man, that's fantastic. You want to do that, Jeremy, one day?
Yeah.
I'll just tell you what I need. And...
Yeah. Cut 35. Go. Come on, I want to hear something. Who does Levin, right?
Like, there's certain things that happen that are groundbreaking that you can't walk back. You wouldn't walk them back if you could, because they just show what these people are like. They claim to be Americans, liberals, but they're not. They're just leading people to the slaughter under the guise of liberalism. In actuality, they're communists. They're socialists. And they want to see this country burned to the ground. And it's going to be up to you and me that we don't do it.
1 minute.
Now do a My Pillow because he's got to do a. Now I want to tell you about My Pillow.
I like Mike, but gosh, get a new pitch man. He's wearing me out. I'm going to get the slippers.
You know he's got coffee.
And I'm going to get a note there, huh?
You know he's got coffee now?
Yes, my coffee.
My coffee.
My coffee. I bet it's good.
Oh, God.
I'm going to order some. I'll order some and we'll make it in here. We'll do the My Coffee taste test. I will. We will do that. You got a coffee maker here?
I don't think
We
it
gotta
works.
get one.
We got Keurig. Keurig.
It's like me. It doesn't work.
Oh man. Oh well. That didn't go off on a.
Oh,
That's my wife.
You better pick that up, man.
Babe, I'm on the air. Oh yeah.
I love it.
I know.
Well, I'm glad you picked that up.
10 seconds?
I know. We have to. The wife
Always.
calls.
I learned that the hard way. Guys out there, pick it up when Mama calls.
What kind of food?
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
Keep that playing, Jeremy. Something like the quote. The White House spokesman who told us yesterday looked right into the camera, speaking to all of Middle Americans and Poor Americans. Don't worry about the 87,000 new IRS agents in the bill that we just passed. They're all heading towards the fat cats, as Bernie likes to refer to them as the billionaires. Don't worry. Well, this song goes out to you. What kind of fool do you think we are? Okay, Jeremy, you can fade it out dramatically. Oh, that was
There it goes, yeah.
Guillermo, let me do a quick story, and then Laura, we'll go to you. Hang on. This is a true story that happened to a friend of mine back in the 70s, when the IRS, prior to the kinder, gentler IRS, which let me tell you flat out, I've worked with them both, the state of California and IRS, and the IRS is easier to work for right now.
Are they sweet? I thought IRS.
They are a lot easier to work for in the state of California. It is. Yeah, I mean, it is. You have 10 days to pay. If
Yes. They
if
are
not,
like that.
We will take the next measures. But the IRS, because they had been so horrific for so many years and how they treated the American people, that it got to the point where there was going to be an absolute rebellion. Well, there was. And they made some smart decisions to change how they operated. But a friend of mine had a situation with IRS. He was negotiating with them, very eerily similar to the Trump thing. And maybe that contributes a little bit to the trigger. You're old like me. You can remember back in the day when this, you see a lot of, administrations come and go. And you see administrations turn into regimes. Big difference. Regimes are in third world banana republics. But he was going forward and a good, honorable man, ethical man. Well, one night, about 11:15 p.m., here they come, the IRS. Guns drawn, about 15, 20 of them. Didn't even knock. There wasn't a knock on the door. This was verified by neighbors, by the way. Just kicked in the door, off the hinges, come in, all of them, like you would see in an NYPD Blue, whatever. Immediately told everybody, stay where you are, hands up, bum, 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 the whole shebang. Now, obviously, the family's traumatized. You had kids in there, and they said, where is the money? And for instance, well, what money? Yeah. Where's the money? We know you have the money here. They ransacked the house, went into his backyard. They had brought shovels. They started, it gets worse. They start digging up his backyard. Okay. Well, they had a dog that went after one of, and it wasn't like a pit bull. It wasn't like a Westie either. But
They killed the dog?
Shot the dog right between the eyes.
Oh.
Now listen, this happened. Shot the dog right between the eyes, dead, right there. Kids are crying. Wife's crying hysterically. He's trying to keep it together. After about 45 minutes of that, they leave. They don't even say they're sorry. They get in their vehicles and leave, and this family had no recourse. You can't sue the IRS.
No, you can't.
That's the kind of stuff that was happening. That's what happens when you let absolute power have absolute control over you. Now, you can get mad all you want, all you apologists for this administration and its actions. Took me a long time to turn this hard on them, because I'm turned. I've gave them the benefit of the doubt. I've taken heat. Guillermo, you've taken heat. Pulling for Biden to do a good job because it's good for all America, my kids and grandkids. But you have the Afghanistan debacle. You go down the border porous. It's overrun. You can look at this inflation that they lie to us and refuse to even acknowledge it exists. Then it's good for us. And then say, hey, you got everything you need. This feeding of this Ukrainian war with no definition of victory. They're seeing babies and pregnant women die every day over there. And you don't, it doesn't even seem like it bothers this administration. They hire incompetent people. Then they decide to unleash the two most dangerous organizations. We need them. Department of Justice, important mission they have. If you do it right and by the law, FBI by the law. But I ask you this, and you can look this up, it's true. Along with this 87,000 IRS agents, they have also ordered a stockpiling of ammunition and weapons, not for the DEA, not for our military abroad. For who, Guillermo?
The IRS?
The IRS. Now, why? Why are they stockpiling ammunition and weapons along with this 87,000? Well, I'll tell you, I know where they're heading. I lived through that, and so did a lot of people who are still walking the earth. And you people out there would say, that had never happened. They would never do that. Do you think they would ever bust into the former president's home on such flimsy, on a suspicion? Did they bust in Hillary Clinton's home when they knew she had thousands of emails, and many of them top secret? No, they didn't. Did they bust into Kamala Harris's house when she encouraged the rioters to go to see if they could find maybe an incriminating email to Black Lives Matter saying, get out there, burn things down? Did they do that? And let me tell you right now, I wouldn't have supported them to do that. You have a process you have to go through before you burst into somebody's house. And if Joe Biden was treated like that, I would be just as triggered. If I keep on calling Kamala Harris, Emily Lou Harris, Kamala Harris, it would have done that to her, I would have been just as triggered. You don't do that. You don't abuse power like that. Let's go to Laura on line one. Laura, you there? You still there? I know you've been waiting a while.
Laura,
are you there? You're breaking. I think I heard you there. You're breaking up. Are you on a cell phone? Oh, boy, look, we're having trouble getting Laura. It's breaking up pretty bad. You want to have her call back? Yeah. Laura, you're going to have to call back. You're really, we're not, maybe one syllable are we picking up. Let's go to Sue, line 2, and then we'll get back to Laura when she calls back. Sue, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, young lady?
Well, I'm telling you, I called yesterday and hung up because you were stroke level, so I didn't think it was the best thing.
Well, I probably should have looked up at the screen, and Ben probably would have called me down, so my apologies. What's on your mind, dear?
Well, I'm not taking this the way everybody else is. I just feel like, let's wait and see. If he has something
I like that.
that is against the law, he is a private citizen now. He should be punished the way you and I would be. If he doesn't have anything and they can't prove anything, they've made him a martyr, and he'll probably be the next president.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you. Go ahead.
I guess I don't understand why everybody's getting so upset
Well, for the same
until
reason.
they know if he has any.
Well, here's the reason. I understand what you're saying, but I'd ask you to go deeper on this. What if somebody said, there's Sue, your house, that they had heard that Sue was cheating on her taxes and she had some gold rings and family artifacts in your home, and the IRS came and busted your door down and came in armed based on that information? Would you say, well, let's wait and see? I mean, if I went, I know Sue, and I know Sue's, she's a good person, so let's just wait and see. If she didn't do anything wrong, they're not going to find anything. But if Sue has a bunch of stuff that she didn't report, then it's okay for the IRS to do that. They didn't get a subpoena. They went and got a flimsy warrant that probably wouldn't hold up in court because the FBI couldn't present enough probable cause to go in there. Would you still be saying the same thing if it happened to you? Or somebody you know?
I'm innocent, and I know I'm innocent.
So you don't mind them busting in your door?
No, would I appreciate having to have my door fixed and scared to death? But the fact remains is they have to prove I did something wrong.
But what if they do? If they don't, and they don't repair your door, you've been traumatized. Maybe some kids or grandkids are there. They're traumatized for life, but you get nothing from that. They just go back to business. But you got to live with that horror the rest of your life. Do you think that's acceptable?
No, but I guess you heard they did something I didn't hear. I mean, I heard they waited till 10 o'clock, till after people had gone to work. They didn't wear their FBI jackets because they didn't want to cause a big scene, even though around there you're going to cause a big scene.
Mm-hmm.
But, my whole thought is, I've seen they have played 3 clips of him saying, because of what happened this morning, him taking the 5th. Now, I know this is different than what happened Monday, but of him taking the 5th when he came out of the New York. Well, they've showed 3 clips of him saying, if you take the 5th, you have something to hide.
No, not necessarily.
Like mafia,
Sue, Sue, that's not true. Taking the 5th does not mean you're admitting guilt at all.
Oh, I know that, but I'm just saying he says one thing and and says it when it suits him differently later. I mean, you can't say do as I say do and not as I do.
Well, okay, and I respect you. I love you, Sue, respect you. And there is, and the thing that really concerns me and my heart hurts is, and I love you, don't get me wrong on this, because you're being honest with me, you're taking a different position. I appreciate that. I really do. It's not going to affect how much, I care about you and you calling this show or me taking your call I promise. But this is the line of thinking that really concerns me, because there's millions of people that think that's okay, that what happened to Trump, because it was Trump. They think it will never happen to them. They think that nobody would ever burst down their door, shoot their dog, use that power to that degree. There's countries all over the world that are now under dictators that started out that said the same thing. Well, it's that guy. That guy's so bad. He deserves it. He's a special case. They never stop with a special case. When you let freedom that we all are guaranteed of due process and equal application of the law, once you violate that, the floodgates are open. They never stop with that person, because people are flawed. They have revengeful thoughts, especially in politics. And that's what Guillermo and I were talking. Hopefully, if the Republicans win, that they take a deep breath. If they're going to go investigate things, make it the right things you investigate and get on to solving the problems of the people, which are huge. But I respect your position. We just disagree on this, and I appreciate you calling in. Don't ever, and I know you won't. Don't you ever, hold back. And I'm speaking to everybody out there. You have a disagreement with me or taking a different tack, you are just as welcome on this show as someone who agrees with me. So let me go to Laura because she was waiting yesterday too, Sue. Appreciate you. Laura, are you back here? We got a good line. Are we?
I'm hopefully here.
There
I've
we
got
go.
little boys playing with RC cars, and so I may.
No, we got you.
Naveed and Sarah are here.
Praise God.
There we go. Absolutely.
Congratulations. That is, I read your email yesterday.
My house is full of children, and I had to
Beautiful.
borrow a little boy so that Salon would have someone to play with, so they wouldn't dress him up like Merida from a Disney movie.
That's
Naveed
beautiful.
is at a job interview. Sarah already got a job.
Wow.
Excellent.
She was
Excellent.
offered a job.
Love
We
that.
took the girls up to my granddaughter's school to register them, and the principal got talking to her. She told her that she had a master's degree in education, but she had to be certified here. She hired her on the spot as a teaching assistant, and the local schools are going to pay for her to take her certification so she can become a teacher at Edgewater Elementary.
Man,
That is
you're having a
awesome.
great day. Why are you going to mess it up by talking politics?
Because
That's a
you
great.
are Chicken Little. That's why.
Oh, wow.
Here we go. Unleash her. Here we go. Go ahead.
You need to calm down. Okay, as someone who has had the Department of Homeland Security interrogate them more than once, trust me, everything's going to be all right.
Thank you. I needed that. Go ahead.
He is a private citizen. He refused to comply with 3 separate subpoenas, one that was sent April 10th, one that was sent April 22nd, and one that was sent May 9th for those remaining boxes. So when you refuse to comply with subpoenas, the next step is a search warrant. And Ding Dong knows that because his administration, his DOJ, did 334 investigations for the mishandling of classified documents and information. Did you hear about any of those, Alan? No, you didn't.
Well,
and the reason you didn't is because under the DOJ Policy Manual of Confidentiality and Media Contact,
Say that 3 times
I-7100,
fast.
I-7210, I-7400, I-7600 all gives you in great detail as to why they do not talk about certain components to investigations that are being done by the DOJ.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. From the Alan Autry Manual, Section 201, I don't know Jack. Here's my issue with this, and I said it on the show yesterday, is the key thing here is the equal application of the law. You have let me finish. You said
No, I know what you're about to say.
No,
You're about
well, let
to
me say it.
about Hillary Clinton.
But let me
That
say-
didn't even go to
No,
DOJ,
it's not.
baby. That was a decision
See?
by Comey, and he lost his job.
You're going to assume because I was not going to mention her. I don't think it's
Okay.
Okay. I am going to mention the individual, but it's like here. Look, you see somebody jaywalk. Okay, not a major offense, but they jaywalk, and then a cop sees, goes over there, gives him a ticket for jaywalking. But then somebody that he knows jaywalks, let him go. That's not equal application of the law. And in this case, I'm not comparing obviously jaywalking with the intensity of the crime that these issues we're talking about now. But let me use one example that comes to mind of many. But I think this is one of the most egregious, and I think is more analogous to what's going on now in comparison to equal application or not, and it's reality, the non-equal application of the law. Eric Holder was held in contempt of Congress. He was subpoenaed to appear, just like Steve Bannon was subpoenaed to appear. Eric Holder, as did Steve Bannon, refused to appear. Congress did not arrest him, did not even follow up. Now, maybe that's the fault of Republicans. Maybe they should just every single thing that happens, that a case could be made for that. But prior to that, I can't recall in my lifetime. There's a couple, but there's been a lot of many times where the House subpoenaed someone to come and testify, and they use their position in terms like the president's, not just Trump, saying presidential privilege and this and that, and it was not pursued. They didn't make them come in and arrest the individuals.
Let me insert something, because what you're saying is not the same as what we're talking about now. And the reason that it's not is because Congress has absolutely no judicial authority. The only thing that they can do.
Then why did they have Steve Bannon arrested? Why did they have Steve Bannon arrested? Why did they have Steve Bannon arrested? Then for contempt of Congress.
Chose to. The Congress that
the
did not
exactly.
Eric Holder defied that subpoena. That congressional body made the discretionary decision not to forward that to the DOJ.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about
so
now. What we're talking about, here's the thing, and this is where you have to calm down, because this is all supposition. We don't know, because of the articles that I just recited to you. The DOJ has not come out and said, all we wanted was these records back for the National Archives. They didn't say that. We don't know exactly what they're searching for.
Does that bother you at all?
We do.
Does that bother you at all?
Everybody needs to calm down.
Does that bother you at all, that we don't know what they're looking for?
No, it doesn't.
Does it bother you that they didn't even tell a judge? This magistrate is a guy named Reinhardt who contributed to the Clinton campaign and who was on the Epstein, Epstein attorney. It's low level. Hold on, a low level. They couldn't even get a high ranking judge under these flimsy charges to sign off on the FBI and DOJ to go do this. Does that bother you at all? Does that bother you at all?
The person who was supposed to sign off on that subpoena, magistrate judges sign off.
I think you need to calm down a little. I'm calming down. I'm going to
stop up, Alan.
Okay, that's not.
If you look at the judiciary,
no, you read things. I read things. Neither. Laura, you read things. I read things. Neither one of us was in the courtroom when the FBI asked for the right to go do this. We're just going on supposition and on historical precedent. Historical precedent is what they call.
They're doing their job. That is the jurisdiction.
What was
over Palm Beach County? He is a federal magistrate judge. Federal magistrate judges are the ones that you go to.
Are magistrate judges elected or appointed?
They are appointed.
Who was he appointed by?
He was appointed by Donald Trump, and he was sworn in 2018.
Okay. But he contributed to Democrats. So you could say that when you put politics into it.
So Jeffrey Epstein is friends with Donald Trump.
Well,
why are you bringing Epstein into it? Donald Trump was.
I would tell you why I would bring it, Jerry. I'll bring you why. Would you like me to answer that? When you're a judge, when you're a judge, there's a higher level of scrutiny that you should be held to. And I'll flat out say, no, I don't think somebody who defended Jeffrey Epstein, even though everybody has a right to a defense, I don't want that individual being a judge. That's just me.
Well,
I want somebody better than me. I want somebody better than me being a judge because it's a very special situation and as non-political as you can get. So you're saying that politics. Well, let me ask you this, and I'll let you answer. So you think that politics, the actual purity old politics, I'm saying this, that it had nothing to do with this raid on the president's end. That was done solely by Christopher Wray, Merrick Garland. The president of the United States didn't know anything about this. He said he didn't. Solely based on a devotion to the purity of law by Christopher Wray and Merrick Garland is why they did what they did. Is that the position you're taking?
I can't say that because I haven't read the search warrant. Once I have more evidence and once I actually can see what they put before that judge, because Alan, you're
let me ask you this.
You're making positions on facts.
Let me ask you this. Do you find it?
is as dirty as they come.
Well, let me ask you this.
Biden is.
We only have a little bit of time.
The Trump administration and the Biden administration are two sides of one coin.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Period.
Okay, let me ask
The
you
Trump
this. Does it bother you?
Dirty,
Let
and
me-
as all get out.
Let me ask
But
you
they
this.
had different ideology.
We're gonna
The
run out
Biden
of time.
administration is equally compromised, equally as dirty,
Let me
and
ask-
equally as, with a totally different ideology.
All right, let me
That's
ask
all
you-
this is.
let me
It's not
ask you
unless either
this.
one of them.
Let me ask you this. Does it, because you only got a minute left, so try to be succinct. We'll pick it up tomorrow if you can call it what we leave hanging here today. But does it bother you that 2 days later, and knowing the reaction that the public has had, that you haven't even had a representative from the Department of Justice or the FBI having a press conference and explaining why they did what they did? Does it bother you at
because
all?
he's not the president of the United States anymore. He's a private citizen.
And we don't matter.
You said I had a minute.
No, you got about, you got 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
They broke into my house, and I put it all over social media, and I put it out on the media and say that they broke into my house and they searched me and everything. That's my choice. DOJ does not have that option.
All right. Thanks for calling in, Laura. I appreciate you so much. Sue, appreciate you all. And when we hear that song, whether we want to keep talking or not, Guillermo, we got to go.
Yeah, hard break.
We'll pick it up tomorrow, though, because I'm on this story like a bulldog. We're going to stay on it. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the show. Love you so much. God bless you. God bless America. Remember, do your best. Let God do the rest, and everything will turn out exactly like it's supposed to. Bye-bye now.
We're together.